bill in the next few days, we need to talk about a subject that is at the heart of the debate: hypocrisy. The definition of a hypocrite is someone who acts in contradistinction to his stated belief. In other words, he says one thing and does another. For example, a hypocrite would deplore our nation's deficit in a floor speech today, even after helping President Bush turn the biggest budget surplus in our nation's history into the biggest deficit ever. A hypocrite would vote for 2 wars with a price tag of over $1 trillion, 2 tax cuts for the wealthy, and a new entitlement program, all without ever thinking about how to pay one thin dime of their costs. And then they voted to cut off unemployment benefits out of concern for the budget deficit. That's what people will argue in the next couple of days. A hypocrite would complain that there are not enough budget offsets, that is, pay-fors, in the jobs bill before us, while at the very same time try to eliminate the over $50 billion in offsets that are contained in the legislation. Closing loopholes is against the philosophy of a hypocrite. I think it's safe to say that all of us have not lived up to every pronouncement that we've made in our lives. No one is perfect. But rarely has hypocrisy been as constantly and blatantly displayed as has it been by the opponents of this bill. The same people who spent like drunken sailors when they were in charge now say, we cannot afford to help our fellow citizens who've lost their jobs through no fault of their own. Here is the bottom line. If we don't pass this bill, 1.2 million Americans who were following the rules and working and paying their taxes will lose their unemployment benefits by the end of June. Moving forward, a total of 2 million will be off by mid-July, and 5 million Americans will lose their benefits by the end of this year. Thanks to the hypocrites who say, oh, I'm worried about the deficit. I can't worry about these people who have no way to pay for their home or their food or their mortgage or their children. Americans will face these cuts of their unemployment benefits because people will not follow what they say they believe. They were unable to deal with the spending on wars and tax cuts and all the rest, but when it comes time to pay the benefits to somebody who lost their job, their message to them is, well, you know, tell your children that they're just going to have to tighten their belts a little, and we're not going to have 3 meals today. We're only going to have 2 because your dad or your mom or both haven't been able to find work. There are 6 people in this country looking for every job that's out there. The chances of people getting a job today are very low, and people are giving up because with 8 million jobs lost in the last 2 years, they are simply unable to find work to take care of their families. Now, to take away their last lifeline because you're saying you're being a budget hawk and you're against deficits when you spent like that in the last 8 years is pure and unadulterated hypocrisy. I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman yields back his time. Ms. Capter of Ohio.